Hello, Chris Walker with Big Angie Fan Channel here in beautiful Hawaii. It's become a new ritual of mine now that I live in town to come to this beach. Just about a 10-minute drive away, close to my daughter's school. Mainly because it reminds me a lot of the other beach where I used to be, in that there's hardly any people on the beach. There's very few beaches on Oahu that don't have a lot of people. Today I'm going to talk about which member of the Beatles is the most like Angelina Jordan. I thought of this topic because Alan Papier recently had this great video comparing Dylan with Angelina Jordan, and of all, you would, at first glance, you would think, well, what do they have in common, with his voice versus her voice and so on. But then when you dig deeper in terms of artistic qualities that they have, there's so many ways that they are similar to each other. And so looking at the Beatles, you might think that maybe I think she's most like John because he has this kind of bluesy style of singing, or maybe more like Paul because Paul is the one who's the most melodic and does the most kind of romantic ballads. Or maybe even that she's like George Harrison because he's kind of the most quiet, shy one. But actually, I think that the Beatle that most resembles Angelina Jordan is Ringo, the drummer Ringo Starr. And that's because he is often very underappreciated because of the way that his artistic genius manifests itself. It's easy for it to be underappreciated on a superficial level, as it is with Angelina Jordan. And there's four main things that are very similar. The first is timing. Several members of the Beatles have talked about how Ringo Starr was like a human metronome, just able to keep this perfect time. And so in that way he was a real anchor for the band. And Angelina Jordan, of course, is also a master of timing, kind of in a different way. It comes out more in her phrasing.
This is a man's world. There's a man in the world. But I'm really nothing.
So the second way that Angelina Jordan resembles Ringo Starr is this idea that that less is more. Often, some of the most beautiful things that Angelina Jordan does are, not dramatic at all. They're very low key. It's the tonal quality of her voice. It's having a beautifully understated run, a belt that doesn't go on too long on purpose. And that is very much like Ringo Starr. Ringo Starr did not like to do drum solos. In fact, he only has one real drum solo in his whole Beatles career. He, would do these tasty fills now and then, but very much less is more. So here's a great example of Ringo doing less is more.
He blew his mind out in a car. He didn't notice that the lights had changed. A crowd of people stood and stared. They'd seen his face before.
And here's a great example of Angelina Jordan doing less is more.
If you go away, as I know you must, there'll be nothing left in the world to trust. just an empty room full of empty space, like the empty look I see on your face. Can I tell you now, as I turn to go, I'll be dying slow till your next hello. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away.
Now the third way that Angelina Jordan and Ringo Starr resemble each other is that they have hidden depths of complexity. If you look at the less is more that I was talking before, on a superficial level, you could say it's that there isn't complexity, there isn't technically difficult things that they can do, or that they just simply don't choose to do anything that's technically difficult. But that is definitely not the case. Both Ringo Starr and Angelina Jordan can often do things that are technically extremely difficult to do, but it's just not in a way that is like flashy and loud. It's just intricate structures.
Baby says she's mine, you know she tells me all the time, you know she says so. I'm in love with her and I feel fine. I'm so glad that she's my little girl.
And here's some examples of Angelina Jordan doing some runs and other techniques that are actually technically very difficult to do.
But then would come the time when I would need you, and once again these words I have to say. I can't give it out without you. Mama, I don't wanna die. Sometimes I wish I'd never been burned at all.
Now the fourth and most important way that Angelina Jordan and Ringo Starr resemble each other is kind of the result of the other three things that I was talking about. Those other three things kind of arise out of this fourth thing. This fourth aspect in which they're similar is that they use their techniques in service of the song. Her singing and his drum playing is not to show off their prowess as singers or drummers. No, it's to make the song sound the best that it can. For example, the song "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" is not titled "While My Drum Loudly Plays," and Ringo is very restrained in that one. Another beautiful example of Ringo Starr playing for the song is in the song "Come Together," with a syncopated drum pattern that perfectly matches the mood of the song.
Got to be a joker, he just do what he please. He wear no shoe shine, he got Trojan football.
And then there's songs like "Tomorrow Never Knows," where you could argue that the most important thing about the song is that the way that the drums sound, that's the main thing that makes the song great.
Lay down for surrender.
And again, you can say that so much about Angelina Jordan. She sings for the song, so she will transform songs that actually aren't even that good and transform them into something much better just by the way that she chooses to sing. So I'm going to close this out with a beautiful example of Angelina Jordan kind of using all of those techniques that we talked about in the service of the song, and in the process making it, in my view, a far better song than the original.
I don't wanna fall in love with you. The world was on fire and no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire make foolish people do. I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you. I never